Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Murder, Mysteries, and More. My name's Kaylee.
My name is Desi.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button to turn on post notifications. A quick disclaimer. This video will contain some graphic details. This video may be triggering for some. If you do not feel comfortable or are under the age of 18 years old, click off now.
If you can dream it, you can do it, from the wise words of Walt Disney himself. In 1928, Walt Disney created an animated short with a synchronized sound called Steamboat Willie, which in turn, Mickey Mouse became an international sensation from this. Roughly a decade later, Disney released one of the most successful American films, aka Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. As of February 13th, 2024, Disney has a net worth of $202.62 billion. With that being said, we will be unmasking Walt Disney's deepest and darkest secrets.
Some background information about Walt Disney himself. Walter Elias Disney was born on December 5th, 1901 in Chicago, Illinois. He's the fourth son of Elias Disney. His father was a carpenter, farmer, and a building contractor. His mother, Flora Call, was a school teacher. Walt moved to a small Midwestern town known as Marceline, Missouri when he was a child. Walt showed interest in drawing with crayons and painting with watercolors. Walt's father decided to leave the farming business in Marceline and the family relocated to Kansas City, Missouri. Walt would learn cartooning and eventually took classes at Kansas City Art Institute and School of Design. Walt built Disney World near Los Angeles, California in 1955. Right up until his death, he planned a second park known as Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Walt passed away on December 15, 1966 in Los Angeles, California.
Of course, Walt Disney himself did not create Walt Disney alone. His brother Roy helped. Of course, Roy's name was Roy Disney. And Roy was born in June 24th, 1893 in Chicago, Illinois. He had the same parents as his younger brother Walt, and in 1911, after the family moved to Kansas City, their father Elias bought a paper route for the Kansas City Star, and both brothers worked there delivering newspapers. Roy graduated from manual training school in 1912, and after he quit the family business, he worked on a farm. He was employed as a clerk at First National Bank of Kansas City. 1917 to 1919, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy, but his time was cut short due to being diagnosed with tuberculosis. After working as a banker again in 1923, the brothers established Disney Bros Studio. Walt was the creative genius behind Disney, and Roy handled the financial side of things. Unlike his brother, though, Roy decided to stay out of the public eye for the most part. December 20th, 1971, Roy passed away at 78 years old.
Disney theme park history. In the summer of 1955, Walt's original theme park opened in Anaheim, California. The idea first came to Walt whenever he was sitting on a park bench watching his daughters ride a carousel. Each section of Disney included something he enjoyed, such as Main Street USA, which was a representation of his small childhood hometown. Tomorrowland was based on his love of innovation and future possibility. Fantasyland involved bringing his animation to life. Frontierland, you can guess it, was for the legends of the Western frontier. Last but not least, Adventureland was for the jungle exploration. Here are some words from his dedication speech. To all those who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. Here in youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be the source of joy and inspiration to all the world. End quote.
So why exactly did Walt Disney choose Florida for the Disney World theme park? Well, In the 1960s, Orlando, Florida was a military town and it had only a population around 50,000 people. There were 2 military bases, McCoy Air Force Base and Orlando Air Base. This area of Orlando, Florida was close to brand new interstate highways and the airport, so transportation to the park would be easily accessible at the time. Florida is also a swampy ecosystem, which at the time would make the land super cheaper to buy. And the beautiful sunshine year-round made it easier to make revenue from tourism all around the year. So in order to buy the amount of land Disney needed, Walt made a bunch of proxy companies and bought acres between 100 and 800 in today's money. In total, he obtained 27,443 acres. He spent about $5 million on this land. In 2011, an appraisal of Disney World property was worth $1.3 billion. With inflation, it is worth way more in today's money. And of course, another good reason is a bunch of swamp puppies. Who doesn't want to see swamp puppies?
Little gator baby.
Yeah, gator babies are in the park. I like swamp puppies.
Me too. So, some hidden messages in classic stories. Pinocchio is pictured as a sweet puppet boy who wants to be a real boy. The Disney movie told the tale of his adventures with his friend Jiminy Cricket and his dreams to become a human. The original creator of Pinocchio, Carlo Collodi, wanted to base the story off the consequences of kids being bad. His version of Jiminy Cricket was referred to Talking Cricket, and the cricket tried to give the puppet boy advice. However, instead of taking the advice, Pinocchio killed him with a mallet. Throughout his story, the poor boy is tortured. Originally, he intended the ending to be hanging Pinocchio, but instead spared him in exchange for more brutal punishments. Now, on to the next one is Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty is a Disney version or Disney film that included a princess in distress and then a prince came to rescue her. Originally, the 17th century Italian tale began with a princess named Talia, who pricks her finger on a spindle and falls into a deep sleep. Instead of a prince or a king rescuing her, he raped her in her sleep. It gets even worse. 9 months later, Talia gives birth to twins, and one sucked on the splinter on her finger, thus awakening her. The king and her fall in love, but he is still married. His queen wanted the twins to be kidnapped and fed to him unknowingly, but she fails.
Creepy.
Yes.
Cinderella 2 came out. The evil stepsisters weren't perceived as evil as the first movie. Stepsister Anastasia actually had a lover who was a baker that Cinderella encouraged. However, the Brother Grimm version had the stepsisters chopped off parts of their feet in order to fit in the glass slipper. The doves pointed out the blood on the shoes, thus the prince couldn't be fooled. At Cinderella's wedding, they had their eyes pecked out by the doves. Onto the Hans Christian Andersen's version of The Little Mermaid. Ariel made a deal with the Sea Witch in order to become a human. She wanted to be with the prince she saved in the shipwreck. In exchange for her tongue, she got a pair of lungs, but every time Ariel took a step, it felt like she was walking on broken glass. If Ariel didn't get her true love's kissed, she cannot remain a human and would die. The prince fell in love with someone else, unfortunately, which happens in life. And he also never saw Ariel's face. So the Sea Witch made a deal that if she kills the prince, she can turn back into a mermaid and live. Ariel refuses, so she throws herself into the deep ocean and turns into sea foam.
The next classic tale was Disney took inspiration from a dark novel called Bambi, A Life in the Woods, which is about a deer's life. The Disney movie is a lesson about man versus nature. However, the novel is very, very violent. Bambi's first steps as a fawn involve him watching a mouse get murdered and other creatures threatening to kill each other. After a hunter shot Bambi, the great old prince taught the fawn to walk around in circles splattering blood, thus making the hunter confused. In the ending, the deer, the great old prince, shows Bambi the hunter's dead body. In the original Grimm Brothers fairy tale, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, yeah, the evil queen attempted to murder Snow White twice. Finally, Snow White gives into the poisoned apple, but the prince's true love kiss did save her. Snow White and the prince got their happily ever after. The evil queen then is forced to wear steaming hot shoes that burn the soles of her feet until she dies. Snow White truly did get her revenge.
She should fuck that bitch.
Right. Now, with that one, I do like that version.
Yeah, that's fine. All the other ones,
Are kind of
questionable. But on to our favorite, which is a Disney theme park accidents, which happen a whole lot. So late July 1955, a Disney railroad operator in Magic Kingdom performed a costly mistake. He switched tracks before making sure that the back of the train had safely passed the station. The last car of the train went on a separate set of tracks, collided with a concrete divider, and derailed. Luckily, nobody was seriously hurt. May 1964, 15-year-old Mark stood up during a ride on the bobsled on Matterhorn. Sadly, he fractured his ribs and skull and passed away 3 days later. Damn, rough, fam. Yeah, that's awful. In 1964, after being only open for 1 month, there was an incident at the People Mover ride. A 16-year-old jumped between two People Mover cars as the ride passed through the tunnel. He stumbled, fell onto the track, and multiple cars ran over his body and crushed him, resulting in death. As you can see, most of the incidents were caused by failed safety protocols from both guests and operators. And speaking of swamp puppies like we were talking about earlier, in 2016, Disney's Grand Floridian Resort, a toddler went to scoop sand for a sandcastle in a lagoon. However, an alligator attacked the innocent boy, and his father tried to save him, but to no avail.
Yeah, that one was pretty sad.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
But that's the unfortunate. Disney's Hidden Abandoned Island. This is one of my favorite ones. So Discovery Island. Discovery Island is a 11.5 acre island situated in Bay Lake near Magic Kingdom and several Disney accommodations. On April 8, 1974, once called Treasure Island, it opened to visitors. The attraction was inspired by a Disney pirate adventure film, Treasure Island, with a shipwreck on shore. In 1977, the name was changed to Discovery Island, and this island, of course, was only accessible by boat. It was home to one of the biggest walk-through aviaries and giant tortoises. There is some speculation on why the park shut down in 1999. Some people believe it's as simple as whenever Animal Kingdom opened in 1998, there were less visitors, thus there was a greater loss of revenue, which would have made it expensive to keep running this island. Other reasons could be the presence of brain-eating bacteria found in a lake across the island at River Country Park. Last but not least, supposedly an anonymous caller called and said birds were being inhumanely treated on the island by employees. The call states they disturbed bird nests and threw sticks at the vultures. However, we cannot confirm or deny how accurate that statement is. To this day, the island is completely overran by nature, and it still remains a mystery if Disney will do anything with the island.
Now, into our favorite segment, which is Reddit comments. And our first Reddit comment post is going to be by Mr. Climatize. The hidden messages behind Disney movies, which the Beauty and the Beast one says Stockholm Syndrome. Okay. And there's a bunch of others that you'll see pictures of course, like always. But deleted. I thought 101 Dalmatians was that the two dogs had like 12 puppies and the others were rescued kidnapped puppies. It has been so long. Somebody said you're correct. Get it? Ramses the pigeon. Snow White ran away from home and got a job servicing 7 men. Servicing, quotations. The Jungle Book. Hoes before bros.
Wow.
The Fox and the Hound. Separate but equal. The Sword in the Stone, you're adopted. Pocahontas, white people aren't magical, but everyone else is. Sure, your appliances are watching you while you sleep. And Lady and the Tramp, sleep with him and he'll stick around. Rip.
Deleted says, change for your man. That's a hidden meaning you got out of Little Mermaid. The story is about a girl that has to find a guy without being able to talk. The hidden message is that a pretty face is always better than a good personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could see that. And then Deleted also says, the men up there don't like a lot of blabber. They think a girl who gossips is a bore. Yes, on land it's much preferred for ladies not to say a word. And after all, dear, what is it'll paddle for? Sorry, your comment made me think of Ursula's song. Captain Awesome Sun 91 says, you're poor, unfortunate soul.
No. Ignitus Maximus, Little Mermaid, look at the castle made of cocks. Look at it.
Oh, wow.
What? You're done. Oh my god, Lord Cromder, Hunchback, finishes last? More like never even really comes close to finishing.
Deleted, Tangled, better than Frozen. I mean, Tangled was a pretty good movie.
It was. It really was. Fuzzy Fart.
I like that one.
Yeah, same. So I just finished reading Hamlet in class, so I'm a bit confused as to how the Lion King is Hamlet with other animals, other than the uncle killing the dad and the son coming back for revenge. I don't see it either, but.
Webster Rella says, I never really understood that criticism of Cinderella. I mean, who doesn't get dressed up for a ball, a royal ball even?
That's, I mean.
Right.
I wonder if in Beauty and the Beast, she really went insane and started hallucinating in order to deal with the trauma she suffered being trapped in a mansion with the Beast. She had to have someone to talk to besides him, so she imagined household objects as friends. I could see it.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
Vulture _87 says, spay your pets, spay your pets, spay your pets. To the
Literally.
tunes you might be best by Mr. Burns.
Or be your guest from Beauty and the Beast.
Which, I mean, people should definitely spay their pets.
Yeah,
Too many homeless dogs.
There is, and it's sad, and all the shelters are full, so please fucking spay your dogs. Thanks. Great. I like how they put the original Little Mermaid cover with the big dick hidden in the castle on here. It's just dicks today, I guess.
I guess.
Dicks, and more dicks. Rip.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
My favorite Disney movie is Princess and the Frog.
That is a really good movie.
Yeah, Tiana, Prince Nevaeh.
Yeah. Yeah, I like a lot of it.
I do too, but that one's my favorite of all time. On to the next one, which is by V Romantic. Favorite weird Disney parks history. 95 Music Lover says, when Disneyland first opened, they had a lingerie shop on Main Street that had a mascot of sorts called the Wizard of Bras.
Interesting.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it.
And then Emily Lex said, maybe kind of basic, but I'm always partial towards the whole story of extraterrestrial alien encounter. I was lucky enough to experience it in the fall of '97. Such an odd movie by Disney, but it was cool as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And then V Romantic says, I love reading about that ride. I think there was a Stitch's Great Escape, but I was so little I didn't care about the ride. Now I wish I wrote it just to say I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
The last time I went to Disney, I think I was 7-ish, so I remember a little bit of it. The only ride I did not like was Tower of Terror.
I've never been to Disneyland or World, so RIP to me. I've never been, but I've heard it's great. Yeah, thumbs up. Reclops. Doritos were invented in Disneyland. A Mexican restaurant sold the broken parts of hard shell tacos as chips to reduce waste / earn more money. I didn't know that. I've never wondered where Doritos came from, so now I know, I guess.
Drake, all the things. I was always fascinated by river country. I remember it from when I was a kid and I loved it. When I went with my own kids, the park was closed, but you could see it from one of the ferry rides.
Yeah. What? Deleted says, definitely talk about the Yippee invasion of Disneyland. What is that?
Oh my god.
Disney worker activists went on strike here in 1984 requesting wage increases, less outsourcing, and health insurance. I never knew that. Okay. Yeah. Disneyland was shut down by a band of VPs. Okay.
Well,
now you know.
and then on to the last Reddit comment, or Reddit post. And this is by Owen MH04. That is Discovery Island. I noticed there are lights on it. I have 2 questions. Is this new? And also, is there a sub dedicated to Disney abandoned stuff? Thanks. Valium Kitty says, someone brought an inflatable raft and waited out there to check it out. They chronicled it with pictures and spooky stuff. Somewhere online exists. Yeah, there was a YouTuber that did trespass over there and take some videos.
Shame on them. Steven Sokolsky, the lights are on buoys intended to keep watercraft from crashing into the island at night, probably because it's so dark.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd probably run into that shit.
Well, it's probably, since it's overran by nature, you probably can't really tell.
Oh no, probably not.
And then Tim Love says, I went to Discovery Island a couple times as a kid. It was mostly a bird sanctuary. You got there by a water taxi from the resorts. I can't remember if there was an admission fee. I do remember that it was a walk-through attraction. I saw a real toucan there and I was impressed until I had only seen Toucan Sam in cereal commercials. The tour was self-guided and you could spend as much time as you wanted until it closed for the day. Yeah, I've never seen a toucan in person.
I haven't either. Birds freak me out.
Or maybe I have, I just
don't remember.
Because I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want birds.
Or I probably did. I don't know.
Damn, it's all just check this out. Check
oh
that.
the video, it was by Matt Swanza YouTube.
Yep.
I wonder if it's still up. Yeah, it's still up there. You can still watch it.
Interesting.
Okay, we'll put these pictures in the video. But Matthew H12, here's a few photos I took back in August when I was at Walt Disney World for my Disney Moon. From what I understand, Disney does minor maintenance to the island, new fence on old public dock, new maintenance / cast member docking here, but that's about it. And then the first photo is picture of the dock, and then another picture is the original dock for the public, and yeah, it pretty much looks the same.
It does. I mean, yeah. Check this out. Someone documented the entire journey.
Which that would make sense.
Well, nobody's touched it really.
Because yeah, it's just still, you know.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're gonna do with it?
I don't even think they know right now.
I think they're just gonna leave it be.
Which is, safe enough. Good enough.
Yeah, I would probably if I were them.
Just let nature, you know, take the island.
It'd probably be expensive to keep it, considering with hurricanes over there.
I say, yeah, it'll wipe it out. There's no point. All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Walt Disney himself. Walt had a vision, and like it or not, Disney wouldn't be here without him. Also, without his brother Roy and his background in finances, Disney World wouldn't have the net worth it has today. But even in the very place that magic happens, there are hidden secrets. So with that being said, thank you for listening to another episode of Murders, Mysteries, and More. Remember to always keep your eyes open because dreams do happen and sometimes they do come true.